Welcome everybody back in to the part 2 of the May 15th, unplanned part 2.
Yes.
Of the May 15th podcast of the JJ and Pug Show, recording from the Highland Community Podcast Studio. We did all of our sports. I got a lot of that out of my system.
Feel better.
I feel better.
Yeah.
I feel better. But now the nonsense.
Yeah.
The
now the fun stuff happens.
We didn't
Yes.
even, you know what's crazy? We didn't even talk when we did the whole sentence. We didn't even talk about the NFL.
Nope.
We didn't even talk about. And I know you don't care about baseball.
Season. Well, but it's basketball right now. It's all that's important.
Yeah, the playoffs.
Yeah, like you're watching.
Specifically the playoffs.
Yeah. We'll talk baseball, unfortunately, when basketball is over. But right now, you can watch a game, but it's not even worth watching.
I keep hoping that the Diamondbacks will come out of whatever malaise they're in right now. It's not worth talking about right now because
you know what is worth talking about? Disney World.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll talk about Disney.
Oh.
I want to hear your. Hey, hold on a second now. Hold on. Hey, we've got this. I should be using this the way I'm supposed to.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
What are your grievances with Disney? Then I will come on.
Everything. I'm serious, bro.
Fantastic.
Like I think the place is such a crock of crap, dude. Like I just talked to a lady I work with, and she went on a cruise. She took her family on a cruise. I think she's got
Disney
3
cruise,
kids, right?
right?
No, just a regular cruise.
regular cruise, okay.
But and it was a little one, right? It was just 4 days out of Ensenada to Ensenada or something like that. And it's our first cruise with their kids, whatever. So they're like, "Hey, let's go out a day before and go to Disney and have the kids or whatever." The 1 day at Disney was going to cost them more than the 5 days on the ship as a family of 5.
Yep.
And I'm like, nope. And I can't stand that you charge that kind of money. And the sad thing is they force people into doing some stuff, credit card wise, second mortgage wise, whatever you want to call it, right? To do stuff that like, all for what? All for not. Like, it's crazy.
For 3 days.
It's like, really, for 3 days you're going to go into that kind of debt because you don't have the means to do it, but you don't want your kids to be left out.
You got to give your kids a chance.
You got to let them see it. They got to see it. Listen, let me just tell you, I'm living proof. I made it 18 years without going to Disney, and I turned out just fine. I only went because our senior trip went there. Or else my first trip wouldn't have been until my kids just went in 2020. That was it. I don't like the place. I can't stand it. The lines are bad enough, okay?
Yes.
And then they got rid. Did you remember? Were you there for the lightning pass? Like where you could.
Yeah.
You
Flash
could
Pass.
I don't know.
So it used to be Flash Pass. They
called it a lightning. There was a lightning one in between there somewhere.
That's the new thing that they charge you money for.
Okay, so what was the one where you went and you could just go during certain times, but you got a time to come back?
That's the Lightning Pass. But you have to pay money for those Lightning Passes.
No, which I'm okay with that. The problem is then you can only use it one time for that ride for the day. Mm-hmm. So
During
I can't
that
ride
specific time.
Yeah, so I can't ride. I can ride it in the long line all I want, but like there used to be. So in 2020 when we went, we could ride Indiana Jones as much as we wanted. If we go get the ride, okay, hey, we got to be back in 2 hours. We can come in this fast line, right? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't mind paying for the fast pass, whatever it was called then. But now it's like, hey, you can do that still, but you only get to ride Indiana Jones one time on the fast pass. Mm-hmm. Why? If I want to ride it 4 times on the fast pass and I'm willing to come back all these times, why do you get to dictate when that happens? And then they take it a step farther and they say, well, you can use it in the park, but not on these rides.
Yep.
Because we want you to wait in line for 4 hours to do a Star Wars experience, which I will concede. It was a very cool ride. Very cool. I'm not into it. Like, it was not anything.
You're not a Star Wars guy.
Not even close, but I think we only waited 45 minutes, I think, at the first time. And it was, okay, it was really cool. It was really well put together for a ride. I liked it. But I'm like, why can't we use that? The web slinger thing was stupid. I don't know why you can't do that one in California Adventure. You can't use it in Spider-Man's web slinger. Bro, my hands were tired. Like, you're just doing this against the screen. It's all 3D. You're trying to shoot webs out. Why can't we use it there? And then there's Cars. I don't think you can use it in Cars Land. And Cars is probably the coolest ride at California Adventure.
Really?
Dude.
I'll say this. I haven't been to Disneyland, I think, since probably 2016.
So I don't...
Actually, no. It was before my kids were born.
I don't even know when they got this stuff because I literally had been in 2020 and before that was 2004.
Okay.
So like I don't ever go. Like I don't like the place because it costs so much damn money. And then the food, bro.
Oh.
Now I will say they got some phenomenal food there, dude. They've had some good food there. But it's like, again, you're making people pay this kind of money for a flippin' churro or a bread bowl with macaroni and cheese in it.
Oh, dude, but I do love that sourdough bread that they were
So
selling.
no, I do. I eat
do
it,
love
right?
it.
But like, you have to go there and budget it in, and it's like, okay, so this is where you get to the point where you're like, okay, do I want to go to Disney for 2 days? or do I want to go on a cruise for 7?
Yeah.
And food's included, and I'm going to save money.
And less money.
Yeah, and I can't imagine Disney World. I can't wait to hear what you have about Disney World because I've never been there, but never going either.
You and I, this is one of those things where it's like, I shouldn't say I'm always surprised, but I'm sometimes surprised how much we align on things like this. Because that is the thing I hate so much about Disney, the corporation of Disney. Okay. One, you create some amazing things. I'm not going to take that away. Some absolute magic. Some of the greatest movies I've ever watched. Shoot, I've worn a Mushu shirt during this show.
Right.
I've done the Powerline shirt during this show. Like some of the greatest things of my youth.
100%.
Disney knows how to create it, right? I hate so much that they have completely on Walt Disney's initial image or initial vision for Disneyland, and that was to be a place where families could come and enjoy the magic that he created without the financial burden. They have completely thrown that away. It's not even a part of what they do anymore. Now it is, how much can we extract from every possible corner of the universe from people that can least afford it? Because all of us youth, all of us, and I'm going to say Generation X on, were raised on Walt Disney cartoons.
For sure.
Walt Disney shows. The Disney Channel. Like, all of us were raised. I wasn't raised on the Disney Channel, so I can't say that. But the vast majority were, right? So all of this is a part of everything.
Mickey Mouse Club, bro.
The Mickey Mouse Club. I mean, just
like the singers of our, like the boy bands and the Christina Aguilera's, the Britney Spears, like these people came out
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, they came out of Mickey Mouse Club.
So I mean, it's like they proliferated so much of our popular culture, and some of the references we make, the jokes, the songs, like it's all of that's awesome. But the fact that they like almost weaponize it against us, like it's to the point where it's like we feel so much, obligation that we have to take our kids to Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Cruise at some point.
No way, Disney Cruise. That's out of control.
Okay,
I can't do it.
I'm throwing it all. I'm just saying all
I know,
of these
but
things.
I'm like, that's like they take the word expensive and then they like multiply it by 5 because you're on a Disney Cruise, which I hear is a giant alcoholic place to go because the kids always have something to do, so the parents just get trashed.
Yeah,
because they're like, I'm gonna worry about kids.
And Disney owns their own island.
Yeah,
so you get to go to these private islands, and it's with the Disney characters, and anything Disney does is not small.
No.
So yes, but oh my gosh, the amount of money that they charge for all of this, it's financial ruin. It's
sad,
dude. Like you said, the fact that they advertise loans
for
vacation loans specifically to go to Disney World. It's the dumbest thing that we do as a society,
and we don't stop. It just gets worse.
Yes, dude. Okay, the one day for 2 adults to get a quote unquote a park hopper pass at Disney World was good. $451
for one
day. Now, guess what? Disney World's got 6 parks. You can't see everything in one day. You can't. In fact, we went with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. They are annual pass subscribers, right? The annual pass, I think, for a Florida resident was like $488. Go anytime you want.
Yeah.
Okay? One day for my wife and I was $451.
Yeah.
And because we went with them, they knew, hey, all right, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here. This is what they have here, this is what they have here, this is what we have here.
Right.
They just took us, and we just went everywhere they went. I think at the end of the day, I was over 30,000 steps, right?
Every time.
But that doesn't account for the amount of time I was just standing.
Yeah, right.
Just standing doing nothing. And, dude, my pinky toe on my right foot still freaking hurts so bad. I'm standing here without any shoes on because every time I put shoes on, it just starts to hurt. Okay, so I'm not complaining about all the walking and crap. Like, I signed up for that. I knew what I was doing.
Right.
I hate how much money they extract out of all of us who just want to experience that magic of our youth.
Yeah.
I've told my wife that we're going to take the kids at some point.
You will.
I'm not doing it until all of them can remember.
And that's why we waited, right? 2020, my
Yes.
youngest was 7. The other ones were, they're 12, 13, whatever they were. So I'm like, okay, they're going to remember it. They can ride all the rides. They're tall enough to ride everything.
Yes.
There wasn't a problem, right? Because at California Adventure, they have an Incredicoaster.
Yeah, it used to be. I don't remember what it's called, but it was different when I went on it. But I know what you're talking about.
Same thing, right? And it's actually really cool. It's one of my favorite rides at California Adventure too. But it's like, dude, why would you take? I know people that take infants to Disneyland. And you're like,
dude,
what are you doing, bro? They don't get it for free. Then it's like they're on your lap.
The amount of people, parents I saw there with young kids who were miserable. The kids were miserable because they don't want to be walking around all day long. They think this is something they want to do because they love Mickey. But then when they actually are forced with the reality of what going to a Disney park means, they're miserable. So I'm looking at these parents. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Freaking sucks.
See, I'm like, I'm not, because you're dumb enough to bring them here.
But the reason why
But
they're
they
dumb
do it.
enough,
I know.
It's just because we were all born on that. So it's like Walt Disney had this initial vision. He wanted a theme park that was clean and fun that all families could enjoy.
And now he's dead, and they've exploited everybody.
And it's clean and it's fun, and it is not something.
I don't know if
every
it's
family
clean
can enjoy.
anymore. Like I've heard, and I've not confirmed, but the whole homeless people being able to come inside of Disney and just hang out.
Now, I have not.
I don't know if that's true or not. That's California.
I've heard that there's something along the lines of the perimeter, like the Anaheim area. Like they hang around at Disney. I don't know if they can get in, but I don't know.
I don't know. But
I don't know either. It's California. They're freaking weird. So,
But who lives in California?
I mean, we got a few visitors.
I mean,
listeners
listen,
out there.
they're all moving to Arizona anyway.
I know,
so
dude.
It's
I
only
know.
a matter of time.
But it just, oh my gosh, Disney kills me because, again, I am a complete sucker for their products. We talked about National Treasure. I love that movie. I love Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
The rides, the Disney's awesome.
Yes.
It's just money. It's like
It's so expensive. It's prohibitive, and it's like punitive. If you actually, like I said, if you actually spend the money, it is so much money when you think of all the other things you could do with that money.
yeah,
All the other things you could possibly do.
dude, it's out of control. Like make no mistake, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Like I think the most I've ever done is 3 days at Disney. So we did, and I don't believe in the park hopper thing. I'm like, nope, we're gonna do one day, and then we'll do another day, and then we did Disney, California Adventure, then Disney again. Pretty sure that's what we did.
That's the other thing that kills me, dude. It's one park. Stop trying to charge me extra money. It's one park. You just put two different gate entrances next to each other.
Yeah, just let me go anywhere I want.
Yes!
If I want to walk from Cars Land all the way over to freaking Star Wars, let me walk.
Just
I'm get
let
my
me do
steps.
it.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate it. Universal Studios in Orlando kind of does the same thing, where they have 3 parks. One's a water park, never been. The other 2 are basically the same thing. The only difference is they have it separated so that when you go, if you want to visit all of Harry Potter's Wizarding World, you have to buy 2 different passes to 2 different parks because they're connected by a train, which is the Hogwarts Express. That's the way they get you. That's how they get you, because guess what?
So mad.
That's the kind of stuff
So dumb.
It's so dumb to me. It's like, you guys are already making so much money. At what point do you have to say, you know what? We've made enough money, or our profit margin is high enough, we can accept this so that more people can enjoy it. I don't know what that number is. It's never going to happen.
No, and it's just going to keep getting worse. I mean, you talk about
yeah.
inflation's up. I can't even imagine what prices were like in 2016, 2017 versus now at Disney.
Yeah.
Like just in admission, I think it's gone up because it used to be $150, $140. It's over $200 now a piece just to get in. Just to walk in, you're not even talking food. No, to walk on your
Yes.
property is $200.
Yeah. And I haven't eaten a thing.
I mean, I feel like you should get free food.
Yes.
I'm like,
or
do
at least-
something.
or at least have a meal. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey,
a
it comes
meal.
with a meal. It comes with a meal. You get a meal and a drink on us. Like here, it comes with every ticket. You get a meal and a drink. Just stop by anywhere and just you get one. We'll check it off. We'll scan your barcode, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But no,
There was something that SeaWorld had, which was awesome. And I think they might still even have it. They have like a meal plan where it's like, okay, you can buy the general admission. General admission is this, but you can also pay for a meal plan, which means you get, I think it was like you get an entree every hour at any of their.
let's
in their
go.
area. So when my wife and I did, the first time when we found out about this, we went, we love SeaWorld because it's awesome. It's like this really interactive zoo. It's freaking cool, right? I don't care what anybody says about
I was gonna
Blackfish.
say,
Screw you all.
Blackfish is pretty.
It was awesome. Okay. So anyway, but then we would just go where I would walk through the line, I'd get my food, and she'd pick off my plate, and we did this all day long, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and we paid. It was like another $80.
Worth it. Yeah.
Worth it.
If you're going to be there all day, it's absolutely worth it.
Exactly. We were there from start to close. And it's like, if you offered that, I'd pay the extra money for it. But, I get so angry when I think about it, dude.
I can't. I could literally never go back to Disney, and I could give two shits. Write that down.
Write it down.
But I really couldn't because I don't care enough, dude.
Write that down.
Yeah. You might want to. You need a beep there. But I'm just. I can't. I don't know. Like it doesn't. Like I got my oldest when she turned 16. Her mom, Kara, and her best friend went, and they wanted to go to Disney. I'm
That's
like,
what
cool.
they wanted.
Later, have fun.
Yeah.
Here's the money. Go do what you want. I'm not waiting in line. I'm not. And they killed it. I mean, they opened to close. They crushed it. It was fun. Good. And that's
what they wanted.
That's the other thing too. If you go to Disney, if you spend the money, and if you don't shut that place down, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You better be there until they are like done. I'm talking fireworks. Everything's over. Then you walk out because that's the only way you've even remotely come into getting your money.
Oh yeah.
Worth. You're never getting it back.
We did so again for us, our trip. We did 3 of the 6. That's 5 parks. We did 3 of the 5 parks at Disney World because Disney World it's freaking huge. It's its own like sovereign country inside of Florida. It's a self-governing body.
Yeah,
like it's
that's
its own city. It's huge. And so because we went with basically our guides, they told us, all right, this is where we're going. This is the time we're getting there. This is what they have in each one. So blah, 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 blah. So they hit it all. We got everything covered. We basically hit all the places that I cared about. We went to the Pandora world, the Avatar world at Disney Animal Kingdom or whatever. And so we did a lot of stuff. And it was awesome.
Fun stuff.
Well, because of them. It would have never happened if it weren't for them telling us exactly where to go and when to be there. But yeah, we got there at park open, 8 a.m., and we were there. We didn't leave until I almost said it was close to midnight because the last park closes at 11.
Yep.
And we were there. We got on the last ride. We got off the last ride and outside of the park. Probably got to our car close to midnight. Right?
Which is the way it should be.
Dude, we freaking did it. But I'll tell you what, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
But
I had
we
to
did
walk. I had to carry Ava on my shoulders to walk back to the hotel. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Dude, it wears on you, man.
It does.
Being on your feet the entire time.
Oh, you know what? I take it back. I've been to Disney twice. So with my
Disneyland?
kids. Disneyland twice with my kids. I was just thinking about it because I was like, wait, we stayed at a different hotel. Because the first time I stayed at a hotel that was, I don't know which way, just down on the same street. And then we stayed across the street. So, oh, you know what? We went after my first show in 22. That's when we went in 20. And then like 3 weeks after I did my first show, we went again to California for like a just a trip for the summer because I couldn't go anywhere while in a prep. So that's right. We went in 2022 as well.
All right, look at you,
I
big
feel like
softy.
I've been there more than once, but I hate that place.
But hey,
dude.
your kids were old enough to remember both trips.
They had a blast, and it was cool to take them in 2020 because they were younger, and then in 2022 they were just that little age, 2 years, but it makes such a difference from a 6 to an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old or whatever, right? She was 9, and then the other 2 are in their teenage years, and
obviously it was enough because you said Allie wanted to go again.
yeah, and she went again for her birthday, for her 16th birthday last year.
Yeah.
Like now, and I'm like, and now and Lexi wanted to do the same thing, and I'm like, I need to take her to Six Flags. She's an adrenaline junkie,
Dude. Six Flags,
and
is
I'm
cool.
like, bro, we should go to Six Flags, but now she's like, no,
so
I'm like,
much less money.
But
It's
and I'm
so
like, and
much
she
less money.
loves like the roller coaster stuff and whatever, and the Allie doesn't, right? she's scared of heights or whatever, and she's
Allie's more the theme park is what she likes, right?
Real quick, I have to publicly apologize to Allie because you remember when we played the game of like, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah.
Whatever, right? Apparently, I don't remember this, but like a month before, she had brought something up like that, and I guess I just kind of
Dismissed it?
Yeah, and she had like documentation, and she looked up sites and stuff, and I'm like, really? And I'm like, where'd you tell me? She goes, yeah, we were in Sholo, and I'm like, bro, I got it. She goes, no, you need to apologize to me on the podcast. So here I am, Allie. I apologize. And then she said, is cereal soup? I was like, oh.
No.
I'm like, I don't think so, but I guess that's up for argument.
No, it's not because you can eat cereal without milk. Cereal is cereal. You can eat it without milk. You don't need
true.
milk.
You don't need
right?
all this stuff.
You're not going to eat dry soup.
So there you go, Allie. No, it's not. All
Hard
right?
no.
But she did have is a hot dog a sandwich on there, and I'm like, I don't remember this, but you know what? That was a thing where I had Googled some stuff to talk about. It came up, and we ran with it. So I apologize, Allie. But she did so she doesn't like heights. So Lexi, I'm like, dude, like I think Lexi, if I could get her to go at 16, I think you have to be 18 to skydive. I think she would go.
Yeah.
I want to go. Like almost below the weight, dude. If I keep cutting, I could have these little munchkin on my back and jump out of a plane. Would be cool this summer, right? It's just gonna happen, bro. I'm a guy's fall guy. Like some dude or some lady's gonna get on my back, and they're like, "Okay, listen, if something happens, put your feet up." I'm like, "Let me just be honest here. I'm what's breaking your fall." Like, whatever, but it would still be cool.
I will say this: I went skydiving, and I was surprised at how much I just didn't care.
About dying?
No, about the whole experience. It was just
wasn't that
I did
cool?
it.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah, I've done it.
I don't know that I want to do it forever or a bunch. I just want to do it one time just to jump out, because they say like everything you think is going to be like, it's not, because you don't have the sensation of when you think of. I initially thought like a roller coaster, right? When you go up and it brings you down, your stomach goes through your mouth.
Yep.
You don't have that because there's not a force driving you down. It's essentially like jumping off of a table, but onto the earth
for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. Like there's no like that, and it's real peaceful. And I'm like, that's all the stuff that I never would have thought it is, you know?
Yeah.
But there's still a point when you're sitting on the edge of the plane and they're like, all right, let's go. It's your turn. You're like, you just want me to jump out of this plane? Like you're gonna have to jump, bro. Like,
I was just having this conversation this past week, and I remember telling them, like, I actively was telling myself, don't freak out. Like, don't let myself get like scared.
Anxiety.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
And so the whole time in the plane, I mean, you'd have thought that I just had a gummy. Like I was just like, all right,
that might be a good idea.
But I mean, like, I was just totally like, I don't know. And so when we did actually jump, and that was that weightless falling, I was like, oh, this is it, huh? All right.
Big gulps, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's not to say that you shouldn't do it. I think everybody should do it, but that was my experience. It was just like, okay,
I'm sure it's like, okay, like it's just not like what you think. And I think, like I have friends who've gone through and they have like their dive master, or like what I think they call them a dive master. That's a scuba diving thing, but they're jump master things. And they go and they have over and over and over again. And I'm like, they love it. They do tricks. And I think of this movie, the Wesley Snipes movie. Oh my gosh, dude. He's a U.S. Marshal, believe it or not. Go figure.
Not U.S. Marshal?
I think he's a marshal. He's a cop, but he infiltrates a parachute group that's robbing banks or something. Oh
Wesley
my gosh,
Snipes?
dude! Yes.
No. This is Point Break.
No, it is not.
It's not Point Break?
It's all around skydiving, and there's a chick, and Wesley Snipes is sitting in the plane. He's going up with them just to kind of tag them, and they pull the chute, and he drops out, and he free falls with no chute. And they have to jump out and go get him, and he's terrified or whatever. Yeah, no, it's about, I'm pretty sure it's bank robbery or some kind of robbery because he foils them. They keep doing something. Because what they'll do is they'll skydive in like competition at night, and then the criminals, they go, dude, the dude from, I only know him as the Rocket from, he's the dude in Point Break that says, Utah, give me 2. What's his name?
Yeah, why can't we think
I
of
don't
this
know. I
guy's
can't
name?
think of his name, dude.
Dude, he's Roadhouse.
Yes.
He's Dirty Dancing.
No, not Patrick Swayze.
Not Pat. No.
The guy in Point Break that says Utah, give me 2. Utah's partner when he's asking for meatball sub. He plays Rocket in the arm guy. What's it? Henry Rowan-Gardner's buddy, dude. Like he dates Henry Rowan-Gardner's mom in that movie, Rookie of the Year.
Same guy?
Yeah, same guy.
No way.
Yeah, same guy.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm looking up Wesley Snipes movies.
Bro,
to see
it's
what
called.
It is.
Dude, it's literally about skydiving. Though it's a great, just terrible movie. You know what I mean?
Like terrible movie.
Yeah, like it's good, but I can't remember the name of it to save my life. But
you and I both love good terrible movies.
Yeah, he's a jumper though, but he ends up trying to become a jumper, and they do all this whole thing. So that'd be really cool to do. As a person, like how many times can you? Oh, hey, I've got like 750 jumps out. That's great. How much?
How old of a movie are we talking here?
90s.
90s movie, okay.
Probably. Like it's deep. If you're on IMDb, I can't remember the chick's name, and it'd probably be easier because I don't remember her in a lot of movies. I don't even know what other movies she's in, but she's
Okay, Drop Zone.
Drop Zone. That's it.
Drop Zone. That's what it is.
Yep. Have you not seen that?
No.
Oh, bro, you're a movie. You gotta watch.
Never even heard of it.
Put that on the to watch list, dude. It's up there with Con Air and anything else. When it's on TV, I'm watching it, dude. It's just, I don't know. It's terrible.
So
TV.
I'm trying to think. Nick Nolte.
Yes.
Nick Nolte. Oh, dude. Utah. Give it 2.
Give it 2.
Yeah, Nick Nolte.
And the chick, who's the chick in it? The brunette.
I gotta pull that one up. Wait, from Drop Zone or from
Drop Zone?
Oh, I
She's-
didn't even pull it
I
up.
thought you pulled up IMDb.
I am on IMDb, but
So
I
it should
I
say
just clicked on
other-
it. I just said Drop Zone's got to be the name of it, right? That makes complete
no,
sense.
it's exactly what it is. Yeah, I thought you clicked on it. But no, that's it. So she's, I don't know, some other chick in it, but
Oh, no, not Nick Nolte. Gary Busey.
Gary Busey's the guy.
Busey with the
Gary,
T.
I was like, wait, who's?
Yeah,
no.
is it Yancey Butler?
I don't know.
Is that her name?
Is she hot?
I mean, yeah, she looks like she's good looking.
That's probably her then. Like she's one of the main characters in the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure that's her because she was like third billing on it.
Yeah, so it's probably her. Yeah, so she's a diver, and then he infiltrates her or with that whole group, and it's
Gary Busey.
yeah, it's dude, Utah. Give me 2.
Oh, jeez. How
Great
did we
movie.
even get to this? Oh, skydiving.
Skydiving. So anyway,
in Six Flags.
Lexi, yeah, and Lexi. So she's an adrenaline junkie. So I think she would love Six Flags, but I can't now. She wants to do a concert, like a staycation concert, and go see Zach Bryan up close and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, it's your 16th birthday, not mine. You do what you want.
Yeah.
But I think because the plan was Kara had gone with Allie and the girls, right? And we had talked a year ago. We were like, hey, Carl and I will take you to Six Flags with your best friend. Like, we'll have so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Running around Six Flags like crazy with all the new stuff they probably have. Because I went to Six Flags when I was a senior, I think was the other trip. We did a day at Disney and a day at Six Flags, I think, or it was a football camp. But it was phenomenal.
Dude, the thing about Six Flags is awesome is, one, it's like an eighth of the price. Like, the admission is nothing, okay?
Oh.
And secondly, you can actually do a lot of rides.
Yeah.
You can get a lot in, and multiple times. I remember we got there park open. We went on Goliath 3 straight times before we had to get off of it.
That's
We get to the top, and they're like, all right, go again. And we just, go do the whole thing all over again, dude.
Great.
It was
just
awesome.
a great ride.
Dude, oh, man. I'm
I
a big
remember
fan
the
of Six
Supreme
Flags.
Scream, and I remember the Batman. I mean, and you're like,
X.
oh yeah, and then you had the Superman where you went up and you were like weightless for a minute,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I'm like, Lexi would love this, but she's a teenage girl, and and I can't convince her otherwise. And the fact that I think it would be cool, I mean, she hates it, so so she's not about it. But I still think I'm like, dude, because her mom, she ain't going. Like she ain't. I mean, she will go, but she's gonna get sick. Like she's not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, Carl and I would have a blast running around Six Flags.
It's so fun.
I'm like, dude, it's just a great time, and we can even go cheaper. Like, you want to try, like, what's that? What's the other place there, dude? It's the other amusement park. So you have Six Flags, but it's lower. It's not as great. Well, Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh, Knott's Berry Farm sucks.
But it's got the only the original wooden roller coaster, the
yeah,
Ghost
which
Rider.
you feel like you're gonna die on
for
every
sure,
time. Dude. Freaking hates.
Actually, I told her we should go to Cedar. Is it Cedar Point or Cedar Rapids?
Yeah, Cedar Point, Cedar Rapids. That's like, isn't that Pennsylvania? Like
It's
East Coast,
Ohio somewhere.
Ohio,
It's
yeah.
Ohio where like they have a crazy roller coaster amusement park. I'm like, we should go there.
Dude, I've heard that there's some legit roller coaster things back east. I've just never gone that far to go to them.
Yeah, I would love to though. I think I'm trying to tell, but she's like, I just want to go see Zach Bryan. I'm like, whatever, dude. Something in the Orange, whatever. That's the only song I know, but it's fine.
I don't know any of them.
It's actually, I mean, he's like I think he started as like a TikTok guy during 2020 kind of thing, but he's good. Like he's not a terrible singer by any means, but
Right.
I'm like, he's just another. Like I'm like, why? But they love concerts, so I'm like, you know what? Whatever, it's your thing. I'll go to Six Flags by myself.
Back to Disney.
Oh, screw Disney.
And this will tie in greatly with what you wanted to also talk about. Okay.
Oh, geez, the controversial topic.
Yes. So one of the things I remember with, I don't know if it was you, but I think it was my buddy Joe that had sent me this reel on Instagram of the sensation, like the phenomenon, how everybody at Disney World's got a knee brace. So I was watching out for it.
Is it
A lot
true?
of knee braces.
Really?
A lot of knee braces because of all the walking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's also because, guess what's also a lot of people there?
Fat.
A lot of large people. The amount of people in scooters
Dude.
and wheelchairs was, I mean, not children, by the way, not
No,
children being
adults.
pushed in strollers, adults, was unfathomable to me. Because it's like, okay, you're going to this place, you know you're going to do nothing but walk around. No, I guess I'm just going to. The people in these scooters, rarely were they elderly, like old people.
and that's
there.
what bothers
And
me.
rarely were they like, and this is something you can only see with your eyes. I don't know everything. Rarely did they look disabled. They were just huge. A lot of really big people. And it was one of those things where I told you about how, like, hey, I was gone for a week and I didn't do anything to take care of my body. Right? I did nothing.
Which is okay at times. Like, it's fine.
For a small stretch. But I was
Right.
like, I came home, I'm like, okay, I need to do something. And one of the big things is when I was at Disney World, looking at those people, I'm like, I cannot let that happen to me. I cannot let that happen to
I'll
me.
tell you, one of the changing points for me was a restaurant. It's Golden Corral.
Yes.
I've been there one time, and I'm a foodie. Like, I mean, yes, I am an in shape person now, but I was fat, bro. I was pushing 300 pounds. I love food. I still love food. Mm-hmm. But when I went to Golden Corral and I'm sitting there and I brought my kids, we're having this, and I'll start looking at the people around and I'm like, this is what I am creating a problem for my kids right now. Not intentionally, but if I keep coming here,
this is what's
you
going to happen.
see what happens. And that's where, like, this note says, we were sitting here watching TV or with the commercials, right? And it's a chick comes out of the water in lingerie and she is fat. I'm not talking thick. There is a difference for you thick chicks out there. Let's go. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fat. When you get to a certain point where you need a wheelchair to get around, because like you see, it drives me nuts in Walmart. When you see usually a lady or an older guy, like middle, maybe 40s or so, and they're in one of these carts, and you're like, being fat is not a disability.
Yeah.
It's because you can't stop putting shit in your mouth. Yeah. Like, just, there's a way to fix that. Yeah, write that down. We need a button there too. So you're going to, like, it's a choice. And I'm like, and I get it. It's hard. And I get it. But the problem is, as a society, we have been so accepting of just be yourself, be comfortable in your own skin. That didn't start out with, that was like, hey, you can't change your brown hair. You're a brown-haired person, or you've got dimples, or you've got just
or you
accept
got freckles,
yourself.
Or you got brown skin, or you got white skin,
yeah, like,
or you
just
got
accept yourself that way. That's what that started out as. Now it's now with this whole thing. We're like, hey, we accept you being completely unhealthy in life. In fact, like, you know what else got me, dude? Is you ever seen an autopsy?
Yeah.
Okay, like in person?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I've had the pleasure of doing this a few times. But when you cut somebody open,
Pleasure.
listen, and doctors see it and stuff all the time, right? And dude, John will tell you right now, like, you know, when she was first in school, she had to help sew somebody back together after they'd cut, you know, and she had to like put her hands in fat and like pull the skin over. But so, like, visceral fat is yellow and it is all around your organs. It is nasty. So when somebody gets cut open and you see these people, even though they're dead, who cares? You're like, I don't want to look like that on the inside, right? Like, it's just gross. And then, it's like, I hate that as a society we've been like, hey, it's okay to be fat. I understand it's hard to be in shape. I'm not even saying you have to be in shape. I'm just saying do something physical for yourself a little bit a day. Keep yourself healthy, right? Longevity, less pain, body emotion stays in motion. Maybe in pain longer, but at least you're in motion, right? And it's funny, not funny, but so I stayed at a Prescott, right, with a buddy of mine, and his father-in-law lives with him. The guy is like mid-70s, okay? He's out building a chicken coop. He is an old school ranch cowboy. Hat on. He's a guy that wakes up with the crack of dawn, goes to bed at sunset. Like, he's just an old school cowboy, right? And I'm like blown away because he is outside swinging a hammer, doing this stuff. Now, conversely, my father-in-law, 75-year-old man, dude, every time I see him sleeping on my couch, I'm like, is he dead? Like, you know,
I shouldn't laugh at that.
and I talked to my mother-in-law about it. So it's not like I'm being mean, but I'm literally like, he can't. It's hard for him to move from the couch to the bed or whatever, and then he sleeps all day. And he's like, I couldn't imagine him building a chicken coop right now. But I'm like, but again, it's because this guy, he eats right. He doesn't eat. And I'm not, again, this sounds so bad because I'm not being judgmental towards people. I get it. Everybody has their struggles. But it's like, at some point, like, we got to stop as a society and say, stop. Like, we're helping kids. Look at the obesity in kids nowadays.
Dude, that...
It's and what leads to that is because you see fat mom or dad, right, go into QT and let fat son get a 52-ounce Slurpee. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what are you trying to do? Give your kid diabetes, like, immediately? Like,
yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, and it's because they don't want to tell him no. Listen, they have kid cups for a reason, right? Hey, look, here you go. Have a little bit. Fine. I get being you gotta get them.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Treats are treats.
Treats.
They shouldn't be staples.
No, but I mean, you see an icy, like, I don't think I've ever, even fat me, never had an icy that was extra large. Like, you know what I mean?
I definitely have done that. I have definitely done that.
I've never done it, but I don't like sugar. I've never really liked sugar enough to care.
You're so lucky.
Yeah,
I freaking love it.
Yeah, I just don't. So, but I mean, now I'm also a guy that would eat 2 boxes of pizza, right? So it's give and take, right? It's just like, you got your own vice, right? But it's just these kids now are being okay with growing up and being, oh, hey, I can be fat. And I'm like, oh, do you understand how, like, dude, when you got kids and they, like, I have daughters, right? My biggest fear, and this is terrible because it's superficial, but it's having fat daughters. And not because I won't accept them. It's because of how mean girls are to each other in high school when you're overweight, or when you got to deal with that stuff, right? Girls in high school have so much other stuff to worry about in life than that's something they can control. So you see it and you're like, I just don't want them to be made fun of. And part of that's just being in shape. Go play sports. Go do something. Like I said, I'm not talking to you thick chicks. There's a fine. There's a big difference. A big difference between thick and fat. But like when you see these kids and they're like, you know, he plays video games all day. You know that they don't do anything, and they're like fat already, and you're like,
not just that, but it's also like you know that they're not being taught at all what they should and should not be eating,
and you're setting them up for failure their entire 100%. Life. And you know, there's a podcast, and it's a couple different guys, but one guy talks about, and I can't remember his name. He's a big Elliot something. He's a businessman, but he talks about when you actually, I think it's Andy Frisella who actually talks about what I'm talking about. But he says that when you are an in-shape person, and in-shape meaning that you're not morbidly obese, you're just, you know, you kind of have a decent figure. When you walk into a room, everybody notices because you're different now.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're in sales or you're in some kind of job where your image, everybody's image comes into play. It doesn't matter what you do. Image is looked at first thing. Everybody judges everybody. You can say you don't judge people, but you instantly judge somebody when they walk in if they're a fat sack of crap. And you know it. Like, you know it. Like, you want me to give you, you want me to sell my house to you. You want me to buy a house from you, and you walk in and you stink, you sweat, and you're fat. Like, I'm sorry, but whether you want to openly admit that you're judging them or not, you are.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm, again, not saying you have to be in jacked bodybuilder, jacked, like, fitness model shape. I'm just saying there's something to be said about somebody that walks in. Because when you come into a room and you are in shape and people stop, or you see a guy walk in or a girl walk in and you're like, dude, they're squared away. They look good. They're good. They smell good. They're not sweating. That goes a long way in business.
No, it totally does. And not just in business, in everything.
Well, in life.
Because you've said this a million times. Look good, feel good.
Play good.
Play good.
100%.
And it applies in just about everything in your life. And it's not just on the football field or the basketball court or the baseball diamond. It's not just in athletics. It's not just in sales. It's also when you go to school and you're learning. Like, if you feel like you are doing all right, you feel like you're taking care of yourself, the confidence exudes and travels.
Huge. Yeah.
And I know for me, and I'm saying this as a person who used to be in very good shape and who's not anymore. I'm still strong. Like, I can still put the weight up.
But I'm not. When I'm talking about in shape, like, you're not. For me, I'm not saying you're out of shape. But
No. But I am.
I know. But when
I none of this, I'm not taking any of what you're saying as an attack on me. I know that. I'm speaking from my perspective of when I went to Disney World and I saw. I was like, dude, because this is not a small sample of population. There's a ton of people here.
Yeah.
And I saw. I'm like, dude, this is where we're headed. And I am not far off. I mean, I'm saying I'm far off. I'm not that far off. I'm going to be 38 this year. Okay. I need to lose at least 20 pounds.
It's a slippery slope when you start letting yourself go.
Exactly. And it is a much harder climb to drop the weight.
Oh.
It is a much harder climb. Gaining the weight takes
twice
nothing
the work.
at all.
It's twice the work.
I would say 3 times the work.
It's kind of like the old running thing, right? It takes you 6 weeks to get in shape to run, and it takes you a week to fall out of running shape.
Yes.
Like, that's the same idea. It takes no time to put it on, but it takes forever to get it off.
Prime example for this. When I was gone for that week, I didn't do any exercise. I went swimming a couple times. When I say swimming, I mean I jumped in the pool and threw my kids in the pool. That's it, right?
Yeah.
I didn't go laps. I didn't do anything like that. It was just I jumped in, we splashed around, whatever. Okay. Before I left, I did my bench press, and I did. I always do 6 sets, whatever it is.
Right.
And I was telling you, for me right now, I've just been doing release, rest on the chest, pop up, not drop down up. It was all slow control, slow back up. Okay. And I started doing that like 2 weeks ago. Do it once a week, and I was able to do 205, no problem. Got through my 6 sets. On the 6th one, I felt it was getting hard.
Yeah.
Dude, when I tried to do that today, I tell you what, dude, it was hard.
It does.
And that was a week. That was 1 week in which I had done nothing. I didn't do push-ups. I didn't do sit-ups. I didn't do squats. I didn't do anything. No functional nothing. It goes so quick. It goes away so quick. So you have to stay on top of it. And when you don't, like me, you can watch that scale just tick up. Even though, like I still exercise every single day at home. I don't do enough what I eat. And we've talked about this before. A lot of that's because of what's readily available and what's affordable.
And that's the thing.
Is impossible to really do in our society. And whose fault is that? It's ours.
I almost think the government's doing it on purpose because you can control fat people that depend on the government. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, I will say I'm not going to say that's total tinfoil hat thing, But it definitely is the fact that when we look at what government subsidies go towards.
Right. And look at the food they approve in the FDA approved
Yes.
stuff. You're like, how are we? Like, I just saw that Prime energy drink or the Prime drink, right?
I did. Dude. Okay. I literally just saw this yesterday and it broke my heart. You have no idea how many cases of Prime I've got in my garage.
After those are gone, you should probably stop.
It's funny I said that. I'm like, all right, we're going to finish these.
I'm gonna
no
get
more.
But my little girl.
And for any of you who
loves
don't know, we just found that there's a class action lawsuit that's being put together right now because the amount of PFAS, that, like, what is it?
like 6?
Yeah, it is in one bottle. There are more PFAS in one bottle than what the FDA says you should consume in your entire life.
Yeah.
You have any idea how many primes?
And they approved it.
Yes. And I have no idea how many.
See,
My
I've
kids
never
have
had
had so
one.
many.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. Maybe I'm becoming an alarmist because we don't know a whole lot about PFAS yet. We know that they're bad. I can't feel like they're great.
The fact that the FDA will approve something like that, right? And then, but you can't. But then, like,
Nobody knows this, but by the way, that literally got me up
I
out
know
of my
you-
seat.
you
I am
stood up
standing
like
now.
you're standing right now, hands on the table, like we just lit him up.
Oh, you did.
But look at our country compared to, like, you look at Europe. Like, if you look like over as a whole, right? You're talking about a big portion of
Health-wise.
people. How much healthier people in Europe look?
Yes.
Than we do. And it's, again, this is not anybody's fault. It's the government's fault for approving the preservatives, all the crap that we have in our food. Like, bananas aren't even picked right? Like when bananas can be underneath the a banana display for 2-3 weeks on end just to get them up there. We're not doing that, right? And I've talked to people who've served missions in places where bananas grow, and they are like, dude, bananas don't taste like this.
No,
like,
they don't.
Actual bananas don't taste like they taste right now. Like, because you get them picked so early so they can make the trek or the journey wherever they got to go. And I'm like, I would have never thought of that, right? Like, you just don't think about it. But our country is like, hey, we're just going to shove it down. Like, we've talked about the freshman 15, right? What did you get? Frozen burritos, Tostino's pizza, like little stuff, right? There's nothing you can do about it because it's easily and it's readily available and it's cheap. It's cheap.
It's
It is
cheap.
expensive to eat healthy.
And it's even harder now when we've been talking about, how many episodes have we dedicated just simply talking about inflation and how everything is so costly? And so people are worried about paying rent, buying a house. And now you got to do the other thing, which is eat. And eating is hard to do on a budget.
And I'm a guy that, my family, we had no money. I do not come from money. I do not have money, but we grew up on boxed food, preservatives. The only reason that we had anything outside of that was because we butchered a pig and we had chickens, right? So I always had eggs and potatoes and pork of some sort. So that was different. But like, dude, people like, oh, Hamburger Helper. But I grew up on Hamburger Helper, Tuna Helper. Like, that's what we had because it was cheap and it's loaded
And
with
hamburgers
crap.
about as cheap a meat as you can eat.
Right. And it's still $3.99 a pound, right? Or something stupid. It's probably actually more than that. I think it's like $7 for a 93.7 for 1 pound of it.
Oh,
yeah, it's out of control. But you're looking at it like, at what point, like, how do we come back from it? I don't know. But the problem is you see it now in our kids. You see it with our younger adults. You see it in our age kids, like, who've grown up in this preservative inflated food. And you're like, dude, we have a morbidly obese, and by definition, I'm technically morbid obese. So
As am I.
I don't believe in that BMI crap. But there is, if you look around, you're like, dude, this is, but again, as a society, what have we done? We've accepted them with open arms and said, hey, accept yourself for
Be this
yourself.
way.
Be this way. It's okay to be fat, comfortable in your own body. And I'm like, that's not what this was about. When we started saying be comfortable in your body or you're comfortable in your skin, was not about being giant, more overweight where you need a cart. It was
be comfortable with the things you can't control.
yes, and you
And
can
accept it
absolutely
and love
control your food.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Not just that, your activity.
Oh,
Listen, if you can't afford to eat healthy because of all the myriad of problems out there that are financially on us, you can control your activity level. You can. Yeah. That is the one thing you can definitely do. You don't have to go to a gym.
No.
You don't have to go to a gym. You can do that anywhere. But this is another thing we were talking about, like when it comes to like when you compare our country and some of the problems that we look at and say, okay, well, we have a massive obesity problem. We have a food problem with the amount of the food that we eat on a regular basis. And if you compare us to, we'll say, any European country, or even Canada for that matter, where most of those countries also have socialized healthcare. Okay, one of the big differences there, those people aren't as sick. They aren't as sick as we are.
Yeah.
We are one of the reasons why universal healthcare will never work here is because we have a lot of problems that are because of our diet.
Oh, so bad.
And it's really self-inflicted. How do we fix it? I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that what we're doing is not working. And again, this is crazy. All of this was me going to Disney World, being pissed at how much it cost me, and watching the amount of people, and a lot of people with knee braces were a little bit heavy up top, and that's why their knees hurt, walking around a park all day. The amount of people in a motorized cart because they can't walk, because they're too big. And it happens at every single time you go to Walmart. I told you that story a long time ago. I remember when Rhea, my little 3-year-old, Daddy, why he's so fat? It's like, well, it's because he's putting that 12-pack right now.
Yeah, it's because that's got all that sugar in it. Every one of those cans he's shoving down, it's got 48 grams of sugar. Mountain Dew should not be legal.
No, it should. I love it, but it should be.
48 grams in one can. 12-ounce can. 48 grams of sugar. That is probably more than you should have in 3 days, a week.
It's insane what level we have accepted in what we intake. Like, we've just accepted it. Having said all that, have you been to Cafe Zupa's?
Yeah, I've been there before. Not this one, but I've been to them before.
Went today for the first time. It was
it's good.
Good.
Food. It's good food.
Yeah, it was really good. And I honestly looked at it and like, because one of the things that I realized when I was out in Florida, my sister and brother-in-law, they live with a lot of like really healthy food options around them. It's not just straight fast food, which is what most of what we deal with out here. And so I came back. I'm like, I'm going to find something that's not just garbage, not something that's just trash food that we just eat. And I was like, I'll try this place out. It was pretty good.
Dude, I've had it before. I know it's been a while because there's one down by where I work. And
yeah?
It's like right by, it used to be, and I think they changed it to an Oso now or something. But yeah, I've been to a couple times, and they're good food.
Well, we just went. This was
we
not
went
planned.
way tangent. Yeah, we did not, because this was literally based off a commercial. I had not written this down until the last episode we recorded, and I saw a commercial. And again, I don't mean to offend anybody. If you're offended by this, you're probably fat and you just don't like to hear it. But I'm just being real. Like there are things you talk about, things you can do, right? Like you can do things that are simple to make yourself. Listen, if you do something 4 or 5 days a week, get out, go walk, go do something, right? Because you're gonna see something change because it's something you're not doing right now.
And the one thing that I think I want to say, I don't know, I'm not gonna speak for you. I want to say I completely understand that if you are morbidly obese or you've gained a lot of weight, it is not going to be easy to lose it. Dude, it is going to take so much self-discipline.
No idea.
It's going to be so much work. But you may even have to take an extreme step and have to get some sort of surgical fix. You may have to do that.
Some people have to do that stuff.
And guess what? You are not going to be upset that you did it.
You're
won't. Not going to be.
Confidence go through the roof eventually.
Not just that, but your health, your ability to move. The confidence of when you put your clothes on and being like, okay, hey, this fits, right? Or that I don't have to buy 5XL t-shirt to hide what's going on underneath. Like, it's just, and I'm saying this not from personal, I can't say that from personal experience of having to go that extreme. I need to lose weight. I've said it. And I've done that multiple times and I've felt way better. Right. And then found myself 6 months later being like, how the crap did this happen? It just
happens so fast.
It happens so fast. And it took me so long to lose it. So like, I understand that point, but I'm speaking from 2 close family members, close friends of mine who have done that extreme step and have said it is life altering in everything that they do, in everything that, like you said, the way that they're viewed by other people.
Huge.
It changes so much of who they are and what they're all about, the confidence that they have, the ability to think highly of themselves and recognize I'm not going to die at 50 from heart failure.
Yeah, your heart's not going to explode.
Yeah, I actually have a chance at seeing my grandkids, possibly great grandkids. Yeah. Like, these are now possibilities when before it wasn't.
And it's not like you don't have to go crazy. It's just about making smarter decisions and doing something, being active with, getting your kids out of the house. Stop letting them do just veg in front of a TV or whatever because you're tired or we're all tired. And I'm coming from you. Like, this is me talking about, I was a fat guy. Like, I know the work is hard. I know I went to the extreme of it all, which wasn't necessary, but it was something I chose to do. But it is not easy. But I'll tell you, there is a confidence that comes from looking good naked. I can tell you that. You know what I mean? When you feel like you look good naked and you feel like you could, I still am uncomfortable taking a shirt off. It's just because I'm so used to just being fat that I don't, you know what I mean?
For me, it's also, it's a level of douchebaggery.
Right.
Like, you're like, hey, dude, You don't need to take your shirt off. You're looking good.
I'm at the pool. Okay, I will. But I
Yes.
never got in the pool in a shirt. But I know those people exist, right? And they have to because you see a guy in the pool with a shirt on.
Okay, you've seen Grown Ups, right?
Yeah.
Okay, remember when they're all getting ready to go to the park? And they're like, I'm going to keep my shirt on. I'm not going to take my shirt off. Like all the dads are saying, like, me too. And it makes me laugh so hard because there came a point where I thought about it, not just because I'm worried about a sunburn, but because I didn't like the way I looked underneath it.
But when you see somebody in the pool with a shirt on, you're like, the only reason they have it on is because they're not confident in their body, and they know it, but they're not doing anything to fix it, right? And it's like, I don't know, like we got way down a rabbit hole with this, and I feel like I don't want anybody to think like, dude, it's not like I'm bagging on being fat. I'm just saying we shouldn't accept. It's unhealthy.
No,
like,
but the one thing I do think, if anybody here is like I said, I'm not going to say the way you said it. If you're offended, you're bad. But I will say, you got to recognize JJ is coming from firsthand experience.
Yeah.
Firsthand experience of recognizing. And I think I gave you a little pushback a couple episodes when you were talking about how undisciplined you are. I'm like, dude, shut that off, okay? I know you're being humble.
Right.
But you need to shut that off because you went extreme discipline.
yeah, and you don't need to do that.
No, you do. Not maybe to that level, but
Yeah.
you do need to be extremely disciplined to recognize, okay, I have to make a change. Maybe not make the same extreme changes you made.
Right.
Right? But like, hey, do you need to eat all of this food in every sitting? Do you need to have a soda every single day? Do you need, like, these are the things that I had to tell myself, okay, yeah, I don't need to eat as much each time I sit down. That's actually probably the thing that attracted me most to intermittent fasting was the idea of like, maybe I just don't need to eat that much. And that was what attracted me most to it. And I have come to the point where like when I do sit down to eat, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to eat this much. I like to eat and I eat throughout the day now, but each meal isn't what it used to be.
No, isn't a whole large pizza at a time.
It sounds
so
for
good.
me, it's not even just like the whole side. It's not the whole pizza. It's the pizza, the wings, the salad with the
Cheat
wings.
meal, bro. It's French fries.
It's literally every side on the menu. Like give me the mozzarella sticks.
Give me them all. Like,
I wanted the garlic knots. It's all the stuff. Like,
Yes.
So that was the thing for me is like recognize, okay, I don't need all of that. Maybe like 1 or 2 bites of it if it's on the table, but not like a whole thing to myself.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, we may be bagging on fat people, but there's a such thing as skinny fat. Like there are people out there that are like, you're just, they can eat with it. It doesn't make you any more healthy than these other people. Your genetics are saying, hey, I can eat what I want and my insides you can't tell, but they're just as unhealthy.
They
like
have high blood pressure.
Right.
High
And they can't do a
cholesterol.
sit-up to save their life, right?
Yeah.
Because they're skinny fat. Like they have no core strength or nothing. But you're looking at, he looks like he's in shape. No. So we're attacking you too. You know what I mean? Like everybody.
We're attacking you.
So if you need any motivation and you have kids, that should be your motivation because you don't want your kids to. You want to be able to play with your kids. I mean, think about you're 38. I mean, Benton's 7, right? 10 years from now, he'll be 17. You'll be 48. You're either going to be able to play ball with him in the yard or you're not, right? You're either going to be out of shape and tired after a few throws. You're going to be able to say, let's keep going, right? And so who do you want to be? Like, and that's not just a boy, the girls too. I mean, come on, when somebody comes over to take
they
Kempsey
better not think they can take me.
No, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like,
Yes.
it's that like some young guy in skinny jeans shows up at your door, and you're like, you just want to be like, dude, I just want to make him think, like, ooh, don't want to mess with Pug. Good,
Yeah,
you know.
So there was a meme when I hit my personal record in bench press and squats. Like this was back in September of last year, and I told my buddies about it because again, we talked about this. Boys, we got each other's backs, man.
Yeah.
We pump each other up.
Absolutely.
So I got my boys group, right? And I texted them like, guys, I need you guys to recognize this. Because I told Chalet, she didn't understand how big it was.
No flowers from her at all.
Dude, I remember telling her, and she's like, is that a lot? And I'm like, what? What?
So innocent. Is that a lot? Like, should I be impressed? Like, just tell me if I can be.
completely. Like, I had just come out of the gym. I just done it. I was feeling so pumped and got nothing out of it. Anyway, so I text my boys. I'm like, guys, I need you to tell me this is great. And of course they did because it was awesome for them. And my buddy sends me this meme of this dad at a gym and he's got 225, right? And he's just repping it, no problem, easy going. And the caption above says, "This is so that my daughter's boyfriend recognizes his 225 don't mean crap, like something like that. Like
that's right.
You know, that was me because I was repping 225 like it was no problem with that.
Great.
And I was like, yeah. And this is what he said, like, this is you, man. I'm like, you better believe it.
Yeah, absolutely.
My daughters, though those boys to come get them, they better know that 225 you did in high school don't mean crap.
Yeah, it doesn't mean crap here.
Not in this house.
So everybody needs your own motivation. Like, you know, whatever it is, I'm just saying, like, I've got a few different avenues I go down, but definitely the kid thing was mine when I started. So,
and I will say that was a big thing for me because, again, I'm at Disney World and there's kids and parents everywhere. And I'm looking at it, I'm saying, and this is a snapshot of our, okay, this is the other thing that got me. I'm going on I can't remember what the ride it's called. It's basically when you're in the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars and it's a crew and you get like, so I think it's
the same ride at Disneyland.
It might be the same.
I wonder if it's the same ride because that sounds.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same. Honestly, I don't know what's the different parks.
Whatever.
I'm not. Yeah, but it's 6 people that go in, and each person's got a different role in the flying of this thing, and it's all obviously virtual, but it's kind of cool. The family in front of me was from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Oh yeah, and you can like shoot things, right?
Yeah. So
okay,
the 2 little kids are the ones flying, right? The parents are doing something. I don't know what they're doing. I'm called an engineer. My job is to make sure that we can steal whatever it is we're stealing by pressing the harpoon at the right time. Like, I have the worst job ever. It's really just kind of like, it's a cool idea, but I don't do anything. And the girl on the other side is, she's from Sweden. Okay. She's gone to every Disney park in the world, which is insane. She's she's a huge Disney fan. But again, we're talking about Europe, not just that, but European vacation time. She's got time to leave. Yeah. Like, they can take 3 months off out of the year. And I'm getting into this group, and for some reason we get onto the topic of, like, just the differences between Sweden and here. And some of that is, so my heritage is Swedish, and my dad went on his 2-year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to Sweden, and his grandma, it's either his grandma or his great grandma, I can't remember exactly, is straight from Sweden. So, like, Sweden's a big part of the family, right? And so I'm like excited to talk about it with her and everything. And one of the things that she noticed is, like, it's different because, again, she's been to every Disney park in the world. That means she's been to the Paris, France one. She's been to the 2 in China and the 1 in Japan. And the one thing that she noticed is the people at this one are a lot bigger. Okay?
That's just an honest observation.
Honest observation from a lady who's been around the world. And she was very nice. But the one thing that's also funny, I don't know if you know, it's like there's apparently like this stereotype that, like, Swedes and Dutch people are very literal. They just say exactly the way they see it. If you've watched Ted Lasso, you watch Ted Lasso?
No, but I know what it is.
Okay, there's a Dutch player on the team who says stuff that just sounds so rude, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" They're like, "No, he's Dutch." And everyone goes, "Okay, so he's just telling the truth."
He's just God, I should be Dutch, bro. It's so much easier just to tell people.
But that's kind of where I'm like, yeah. And I felt super, like, not attacked, but more like I'm kind of guilty because if I went to her country, I'd be a fat guy in her country.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I would be.
But and again, it's not your fault. It's just what we have here. I mean,
well, I would say
it is your fault.
I will say it's 100% my fault. And the one reason why is because I was raised better than that. I grew up, we didn't grow up with a lot of money at all. One, we lived in the middle of nowhere. This was long before Gilbert it was miles away from us. Okay, we lived in Higley. This was a zip code. That was it. Yeah. It was a rural zip code. And we grew up in the middle of whatever field that they were growing that with alfalfa, corn, cotton, whatever it
would be.
Right. Miles away from civilization. Mom was a Costco shopper. And it was, Costco for whatever. We didn't buy anything from anywhere else because it was too expensive. We had a big family, but we had a garden. We tended the garden every single day. I hated weeding it. That was my job. I had to weed it all the freaking time. We ate whatever vegetables we pulled out of the garden all the time. You better believe once I got out of the house, how many vegetables made it into my mouth? None. Dude. So it's one of those things where I've had to and I like them now as an adult, but as a kid I freaking hated them. But I've had to educate myself and be like, okay, no, all right, this is important to eat this. It's important to eat this, blah, blah, blah. And so, yes, I don't want to take away from that and saying it's not my fault. I want to make sure that I take responsibility for what is and what is not my fault. That is my fault for not taking care of my body enough, using the knowledge I have to take care of myself. And again, I got 20 pounds I've got to lose. I could lose more than that, but I need to lose 20.
It's not that hard.
I know you're saying that because you do what you do.
Just eat the same thing over and over again. have zero fun in life.
Just so you know, that made me sit. I had to sit down from that one. But the truth is, and I had said this when Chalet was on with us last time. I think I'm ready to do something, maybe not as extreme, but something hard.
I will tell you that for most people, listen, if you want some motivation, pay for it. Pay a trainer, because that's what started. Like, when you have to check in, like a weigh thing, and the guy I used, he's an Instagram guy. He was awesome. I mean, his name's Johnny Juice. John Harris is his name. He was fantastic. He responded all through email or through Instagram stuff. But check it. It wasn't like he was not discouraging. He didn't call you fat. He goes, hey, he would hey, good week, or hey, we leveled out. Let's change this or whatever. But it was the accountability of knowing that, hey, every Monday I had to take pictures, 3 different pictures, front, side, and back, and I had to tell him my weight after a scale and send it to him. And it was like, I don't want to be up weight. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because then you're wasting money. Like, and it wasn't a lot. It was $300 for 3 months. Like, it was only $100 a month. And but it's still, it's $300 freaking dollars. And I'm like, no, I'm getting my money out of this dude because I'm paying him. And that helped motivate me a lot, especially when, I mean, you can be real motivated, but motivation will get you started. Discipline's what keeps you going, right? Yeah. So when that motivation fails, at least it helped him. Like, okay, I paid this dude. Like, I got 10 weeks. I got 2 more weeks left. And if I want to pay him again, I will. But if not, I'm still going to finish out this 2 weeks. But the money, so maybe pay somebody, right? And most people don't understand how easy it is to get started. It's not crazy. And I will tell you, people think, I actually just talked to a guy on a trip I was on. He's asking about what I eat because he was afraid. He wanted to go on a diet, but he's like, dude, I just don't want to. I like to eat. I'm afraid I'm going to be hungry. And I'm like, let me tell you something right now. I eat more food in a day than most people do. And you can eat a lot of food and lose weight the same way. I am never hungry because I haven't eaten. I'm hungry because my metabolism's moving. And after two and a half hours, I'm like, I need to eat. Like, and what's funny is, so my wife's doing this, right? She's doing her own thing. We won't get into that. But she was a person who ate once or twice a day, picked here and there. Now I'm not really hungry. And when she started, she's like, I can't finish it all. It's a lot of food, da-da-da. And I'm like, just wait. Now? Like, dude, every 2.5 hours, she's like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, yeah, and you just ate a ton of food 2 hours ago. This isn't even the same thing. And she's seeing results in her own way. And she can talk about all that stuff if she wants. But the thought is you can eat and still lose weight. So don't think you're going to starve yourself. You can't have carbs. I'm telling you right now, I eat rice every day, multiple times a day.
I wish I liked rice.
You can have red potatoes. My first diet had red potatoes in it. Quite often, I would use the air fryer, red potato fry-ups. That texture of potato changes the game, right? It just helps you feel like you're eating bad. Right? It does. It helps you feel like you're eating bad, so you're like, oh, I'm getting like a French fry, right? And if you're smart, you can actually take the red potatoes, cut them into strips. It's almost like you're eating fries, and you're eating something that's it's a good carb. It's a healthier carb than an Idaho potato or whatever, So rest assured, for anybody that's even remotely interested, you're not going to starve yourself. If you do it right, you actually need to eat a lot because your body needs to fuel. You're going to fuel your body, and if you're working out a little bit, you're going to burn through it, and you're going to be hungry, but it ain't because you're not eating. So anyway, I think we beat this with a dead horse. For anybody that's offended, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It's just the truth. Like, it is what it is, and I'm coming from a place of genuine being a fat person before. Still consider myself fat because I have body dysmorphia. Yeah. So it is what it is, but we need to just be healthier, I think. And if you can do anything, do it for your kids, do it for something, do it for yourself. But at the end of the day, it's just better in the long run.
And I was going to say, for me, it's not one of those things where you say sorry, not sorry. It's like, I'm not sorry because we as a country have to face the barrel of this gun. Yeah. We have to stare it down and be like, okay, we need to do something. The government's not going to bail you out, right? You can't be looking for someone else to save you. We can't be we have to do it. We have to do it. As individuals, we have to do it. If we have problems with our healthcare system, we got problems with whatever, we got problems with the way we farm. Guess what? We have to be the ones that say we're going to fix this because it's not going to happen in Washington.
No, they don't care.
They don't care. It's not their. It shouldn't be their job. Yeah. It shouldn't be their job. We shouldn't be looking to the government to fix every problem we have. I mean, there's problems they have to fix. I'm not saying there aren't. But we shouldn't be looking to them and say they got to help us what we eat. No, we need to do that. We as an individual, each individual one of us has to do that. And that's my statement.
Yes, and that's your story, and you're sticking to it.
And I still love cheese.
Oh, dude.
So stay fresh, you cheese bags.
I don't even know what to say because I got my mind on cheese. But like fat kids in dodgeball, we're fat now.
All you fat kids, you're out.
The JJ and Pug Show theme song was written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Special thanks to Highland Communities for all the support given to our show. You can find the JJ and Pug Show podcast wherever you do listen to podcasts. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Remember to share the show with your friends and family and subscribe wherever you do listen. If you're able to, please feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. That is ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for all the support, whether that is by simply listening, whether that is sharing it with a friend, or giving us that sweet, sweet cash. We truly appreciate it all. Thank you so much.